this video, I'm going to run through the techniques used in this ball. It's a pattern I wrote many, many years ago, back before I was doing videos. It's called Orb-It, knit ball. And I've updated the pattern a little bit. If you'd like to get your free copy of the pattern to follow along, just click the little eye in the upper right-hand corner to be whisked away to my website. And it uses double-pointed needles and some MakeOne stitches. It's not a super easy pattern because there are a few different things going on, but if you're not sure if you have the skills to do it, go ahead and watch the video. It's not very long. I'm going to show you everything that we do here. So I have these different knit balls, different sizes in front of me, and the thing that strikes me as so funny is these are all knit with the exact same number of stitches. It's just the yarn weight and the needle size that makes it different. This is super bulky in using size 13, US 13 needles, and this is bulky using US 9 needles. And this one is worsted using size 6 needles. And this one is not much smaller, but it's DK using size 3. And this one is actually bulky also, but I filled it with plastic pellets to make a juggling ball. I need to make 2 more to actually juggle with it, but it makes a heavy ball that it's fun. It's fun to play with. And you can use these for anything. You put a squeaky inside, make it a dog toy. You can make Christmas ornaments. You know, you guys are more creative about that sort of thing than I am. I'm just going to run through the techniques used, and so I will get these out of the way, and let's take a look. We are going to use double-pointed needles, and we're going to cast on very few stitches, just 6 stitches. And you have the option of casting all 6 stitches onto one needle and then sliding them to the other needles, or you can do like I do. This is my preferred way, is to just cast them on directly to 3 needles. 2 stitches each. Okay. I'm using bulky yarn and size 9 needles for this, if you're curious. Now I have this set out in front of me, and the very hardest part of this whole project is the very first row. But once you're past that, it gets a lot easier. I have the working yarn coming from this stitch here, which means my next stitch is here on this front needle. I'm going to scoot this stitch to the end of the needle, get my second needle in there to knit it. And now that I've knit that and the next one, I'm all joined in the round. For the first round, I want to knit 6 stitches. I just knit 2. Okay. We actually wanted to keep count there because we don't have a marker marking the beginning of our round yet, but I just knit 6 stitches. Now we're going to start the increases. And we're still kind of in the woods here. This is still kind of difficult knitting here. We don't have very many stitches going yet, and we're going to start doing increases. So what we're going to do on each needle is knit 1, make 1, knit 1, make 1. And so we're going to turn these 2 stitches on each needle into 4. And you can, if you have a preferred way of doing a make 1 stitch, either right or left, it's totally your choice. I'm going to do make 1 lefts. So I knit the first stitch. I want to find the bar between the stitches to do the make 1 stitch. I pull it up with my right needle and put my left needle in there from front to back. And then I'm going to get my, actually, let me just do it this way. I'm going to get my needle into the back loop of that stitch, which is not always very easy. So I put it into the front loop and swing it over. Knit that stitch. That's a make 1. Knit 1. Then I'm going to make 1 again. And the make 1 this time, the bar between the stitches is here, Once you start to pull things apart a little bit, it's the only horizontal strand. So I put my needle in there from front to back, get my needle tip into the back loop of that stitch. And if you want a really slow demonstration of the MakeOne stitch, maybe you want to see what MakeOne right looks like, I'll give you a link here. It gets a lot easier after this first round. Actually, let me show that again. The MakeOne stitch is the only horizontal bar between the needles. You know, I timed myself knitting one of these. It took me 40 minutes. So if you're in a rush to get a ball knit, all you need is 40 minutes. Okay, so now I have 12 stitches. I still haven't marked the beginning of my round, so I'm going to count these stitches to make sure I get back to the beginning of my round. Excuse me. Okay, now I have enough going here that I can go ahead and mark the beginning of my round with this clippy marker. And when I put this here between these two needles, I know the spot between these two needles is the beginning of my round. And as I create more and more fabric, I can keep moving that up. Now, after I finish the knit all the stitches with 12 stitches, the next row is knit 2, make 1, then it's knit 3, make 1, then it's knit 4, make 1, up until we get to knit 7, make 1. And your piece will be this size when you get there. Oh, actually a little bit shorter because there are some plain rounds between. But what I want to show you is that I continue to move the marker up, so I can easily see where the beginning of my round is. And this point, we're at a good point to go ahead and weave in the end from the cast on row. So I'm going to take a tapestry needle, and I work with double pointed needles a lot. So I have a pretty nice little hole here. I'm not really worried about the stuffing coming out of there. But if I wanted to tighten this up, this is the way I would do it. I have these stitches, these 6 stitches from the cast on row. I'm going to put my needle in that's actually the slip knot. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to put my needle in to each one, or I can put it into every other one if I like. Just being consistent. And then once I do that, I have the option of pulling and really tightening it up, poking the end down through the center, really tightening it up. And so that looks good. We don't have to worry about any stuffing coming out of there. And if you're not as familiar with double pointed needles, it's likely that you ended up with a hole that was a little bit bigger. It's totally normal. And then I can go ahead and weave in this end on the inside of the work. It's actually not that important. I'm going to weave in the end, and that'll hold the little tightening I did there, but I could just leave it there and let it become part of the stuffing, right? Okay. I've got that. I am going to leave that there and make it part of the stuffing. what was I going to say? Oh yes, after you finish all the MakeOne stitches, all of the increases across, there are 5 rows that are just plain knitting. And I've talked with some people and seen on Ravelry what people are doing. You can use those 5 rows where nothing is increasing or decreasing to have some fun. You can do a stripe there, you can do some fair isle there. If you want to do, you know, Christmas balls or something, that's a good spot to do it, the 5 plain rounds of knitting before you get into the decreases. And the decreases are easier than the increases were. You're going to run through a series of, you know, knit 6, knit 2 together, knit 6, knit 2 together, and then alternate those with knit rounds. It's all in the pattern. If you made it through the MakeOne stitches, the knit 2 togethers are easy. Okay, and then we get to this point. I am almost done here. I just have, what do I have here? I just have knit 2 together around left to do. I think I'm on row 29. I have it in the pattern exactly when to stop and to put stuffing in the ball before you kind of close up the end. And I have the stuffing here. Let me show you this. This is how much stuffing I have. I've already tested it out. I know how much I need. There's everything that you stuff, if you've ever done knit toys, you need twice as much stuffing as you think you're going to need. And I'll tell you that it always looks better a little overstuffed than understuffed. It ends up looking kind of lopsided if you don't get enough in there. So I know all this is going to fit in there because it was already in there once. I took it out for the video. Wow. Ta-da. How fun. It needs some work to kind of get it distributed evenly so that it's nice and round. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish this up with knit 2 together around. Once I do that, the hole in the top ends up being pretty small. I wouldn't want to try to put the stuffing in. You just stretch it out, I think. And then the last round is, actually the last round, you don't have to do the last round. No, I'm not going to do it. It's a knit round. And for consistency with the other end, you might want to do it, but it's not essential. Then I break the yarn and I'm going to run the yarn through the stitches in the same order that I was knitting them. And just take them off the needle as I do. Okay, tighten that up. And then you have a couple of options here for securing this last end. I'm going to show you the most secure way. I'm using wool yarn. I could just poke this through to the stuffing and never think about it again. But if you're using something that isn't wool and you're worried about it coming unraveled or untied or something, this is not untied, coming unraveled. This is what I do to secure non-wool ends on something. I've just split the plies half and half. I'm going to thread 2 of those plies or half of those plies onto the tapestry needle and move it just a half a stitch away from where the other 2 are. And then I can tie these 2 halves together. Okay. So that's going to keep that secured and tightened. Now I'm just going to weave the end into the stuffing of the ball. Poke it out the other side. short. Now the end is forever lost inside. And this is going to take, it's because I used that stuffing once before. It's kind of in clumps. It'll take me a few minutes to get this really round. But it will happen. That's it, the Orb-It knitted ball pattern. Again, the pattern is free if you want to jump over to my website and download it. Good luck.